morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of City Hall Live. I am Joe Abeta, and with us today is a very special guest, the president of the Santa Fe Community College, Dr. Becky Rowley. Dr. Rowley, how are you doing today?
Great, Joe. It's good to be here. Thank you for asking me.
Yes, thank you for joining us today. And today you're here because there's something going on November 3rd. There's a statewide GO Bond that can help the college, correct?
Yes, there are two bonds that will affect Santa Fe Community College. Bond C is completely for higher education, capital projects to improve our infrastructures. Santa Fe Community College has $2 million on that bond for improvements to our energy infrastructure, stucco repairs, sidewalk repairs, and things of that nature. So it'll bring construction jobs to the campus and to Santa Fe. Provide jobs in the community, plus help us keep our space in top condition.
Yeah, and I think it's really important because I remember growing up as a kid that when the community college was running out of portables for a long time, right? And then we have this crown jewel of a campus now that's beautiful, fully functional, has great facilities inside, and it's something that the community of Santa Fe can be proud of, right? It really, you get that university feeling with a small town attitude. You go in and you get treated as an individual, not as a number, and it's a beautiful campus, and it's something that people can be very proud of. And it's grown so much with the expansion, but we need to keep up with that to make sure that it continues to be that shining star in our community, correct?
Right. And we have a lot of people in and out of there all the time, not so much right now, but historically we have, and we will again. And all colleges struggle with keeping facilities maintained, and so when we bring these projects before the committee that vets capital projects, what they're looking for are projects that really focus on improving health and safety standards.
Okay.
So, a lot of it is, if we have any kind of aging infrastructure or repairs that could present any kind of health and safety issues, those are going to get top priority. And that's really what we're looking at here.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I know that it's important that people should know that when they vote for it, there'll be no increase on their taxes. It's not an increase in tax. It's just to vote for the bond and for you to get the funds to be able to do the improvements that you need, correct?
That is correct. Yes, there is no increase at all. And if the bond for some reason shouldn't happen to pass statewide, taxes won't decrease either. It's not going to have any impact on anyone's taxes. That this is a statewide bond project too, where the bond is packaged so that there are projects in most communities in New Mexico that have a 4-year or a 2-year school, so that it brings much needed construction projects and the infrastructure improvement projects all across the state. Yeah,
no, definitely. I know from experience, and I know that this is for health and safety purposes, but for the people that I've been a student at Santa Fe Community College recently. I took a couple of film classes out there, and I have to say that it's just state of the art, and also the teachers and the staff that are there are just very passionate about what they do. But what I was most impressed about was that I'm a film student. I graduated from San Diego State. I went to film school there, and I took these film classes to keep up with the times, right? And I'll tell you what, the facility itself, what we were taught in a studio with state-of-the-art equipment. It was amazing. It was great. And we need to, again, take care of this facility. And I think with this bond, not increasing taxes is really going to help out the whole the facility as a whole. We need to do this because it has zero effect on our taxes on the people, but it'll have a positive effect on when we decide to go take a class that might be a refresher, or our kids decide to go there as a step to getting a degree, or to maybe transferring after, taking a couple of years at the Santa Fe, taking their basics at Santa Fe Community College. So it's something that's very important. I know that there's a second part of this bond. Can you talk about that? It has something to do with the libraries, if I'm correct.
Yes. So there's another question that will be on the election in November, which that's Bond B for libraries,
Mhm.
and Bond B is for all academic libraries, all public libraries, and
Okay.
also public school libraries in the state. And
Okay.
they have a formula that they distribute that money, amongst all those kinds of libraries. Santa Fe Community College would get about $37,000 from this particular bond. And,
Okay.
Libraries are really dependent upon this money because their budgets have been cut a lot in recent years.
Yeah.
And so for a lot of them across the state, and we're, our library is very dependent upon that fund too. This is kind of their money for new materials, whether it's books or subscription services or whatever, to allow us to stay current and bring our students what they need.
Yeah, no, and absolutely. In a time like this too, that we're living in, it's always good to have your libraries accessible also to your students and your staff, correct? I mean, this kind of all took us for a loop here as far as what's going on, and it's good to be prepared for that, and that helps with that, correct?
Yes. And so, with, in the library world, our students have always been able to check out books, and we have a curbside service right now, and we're getting ready to have very, very limited in person library services starting up very soon. But the really important thing right now, and bond money can pay for this, is that we have a lot of digital subscription services to where our students can, they can search our catalog online. They can access all sorts of digital books. They can also access, thousands of periodicals and journal articles. And they don't have, we've been able to do that from home for a long time, but now it's critical.
Yeah. No, absolutely. With me right now is the Santa Fe Community College President, Dr. Becky Rowley, and we're talking about the upcoming GO Bond question that will be asked on the November 3rd ballot. So when you get out there to vote for your president, you get out there also and vote and help the community out, help the Santa Fe Community College out by voting on this GO Bond and getting the improvements that we need to this beautiful campus, and this campus that has given us, the community, so much. We need to give back to them and help them out here, because it's not going to cost us a thing. It's just going to cost you a little bit of time to put to vote on this bond coming November 3rd. Dr. Rowley, before we go, I'd like to kind of talk about how are things going now at the college? Are you accepting new students? Are you guys having classes? How is this all going? Can you tell us, give us an update, please?
Well, we are fully open. The campus is not physically completely open, but we do have about 25% of our classes are being offered on site right now.
Okay.
And these are in areas like allied health programs like nursing and respiratory therapy, paramedic, some art classes, and then also trades like welding, where they really have a physical hands-on component that you really can't do it online very well.
Yeah.
So they are coming on campus. We have very careful protocols. Our student services are fully online, but they will walk you through everything that you need step by step. We did have in-person cashier hours so that if people needed to pay cash or wanted to, go that route, they could show up on campus. So we've really tried to provide all of our services at a really high touch level to everyone who is accessing our campus for any different reason. But we are actively registering new students. We do have a second 8-week session that will start in a couple of weeks in the middle of October. And so we encourage students who are looking to weren't able to start at the beginning of the semester, they can start now.
That's awesome. How was the transition for you guys? How did your staff and yourself respond to kind of doing this transition of
Well, we're
COVID?
still
I'm sure that it was
responding.
tough.
We're still transitioning. So,
Okay.
I just want to give my staff, such high praise, because I'll tell you what, it was a really difficult thing, to know that at spring break, we were going to be closed the week we're normally closed, and then the following week, and then everybody had to transition during that period.
Mhm.
And it's hard enough, when you want to have an online class, most people spend weeks, if not months, preparing and building that class and figuring out how the whole thing is going to be offered, and really creating something that
Mhm.
is that's very structured. And we didn't have time to do that. I mean, most people had to pretty much flip their classes within a couple of weeks, but
Yeah.
people they've been really clever and very creative in figuring out new solutions. Our student services are functioning at a really high level online.
Mhm.
Services that we didn't offer online before, we are offering every single day, all day, every day. So
Mhm.
we've made some really big strides. I think it's just a hard way to have to do it.
Yeah, I think it's something that we're gonna. If you feel like though you don't want to say, "Well, I'm gonna wait," I was really excited about starting college in the fall. I was ready to. I want to enroll at the Santa Fe Community College. I want to get my classes going. I want to do something. I want to have some, look forward to taking classes, and I don't want to be held back by this because, it's kind of holding back time or wasting time. You are able to go and apply and to
Right.
take classes. Is there,
Right.
and you could be a full-time student there at Santa Fe Community College, right? By taking classes
Absolutely. Oh
online,
yeah,
correct?
absolutely. You can easily take a full-time load, and you can pretty much get a degree fully online. And the other thing I want people to know is that we have a lot of resources right now for
Mhm.
students that that are beyond what we normally have.
Yeah.
So we have emergency funds for expenses that students have that are not related to tuition. Besides all of the federal financial aid that we've always had, we have additional financial aid from our foundation in terms of scholarships. So, a lot of times people think they're not going to qualify, but they do.
That's
And
great.
if they may not qualify for what they think they're going to qualify for, but we have other things that they may not know about. So before you give up and think that this isn't the time,
Mhm.
please contact us and let us see what we can do for you, because we can get people what they need to be successful.
Is there a number, or should they just refer them to your website?
If they just hit our main landing page on our website, they'll
Okay.
be directed through.
Great. And I'll put that down below here, folks. You'll see that website there. And you can go there and get all the information that you need. Well, Doctor, thank you for taking the time for coming on to talk about the bond. Again, vote November 3rd. There are 2 questions regarding this bond, and they will help the community college out as far as helping out with improvements, safety improvements, and structural improvements to the Santa Fe Community College. And then the other one that will help them out with libraries, funding for the library. Is that correct, right?
That's correct.
Awesome.
Bond B and Bond C.
Bond B and Bond C, you got to go and vote on those, please, folks. Thank you so much. Dr. Rowley, thank you so much. We wish you guys the best of luck, and thank you for, just being that, for being that light in our community, and giving the folks hope, and also being able to educate themselves and make us a better community in the whole, right? By the students staying over here. So we appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Joe. We sure appreciate your support.
Yes. Great. Well, folks, thanks again for joining us. This has been City Hall Live. Have a great week. Have a safe week.